All right, Gage, whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Okay. After the 1942 bombing of Pearl Harbor, an unlikely soldier joined the war, Donald Duck. Donald Duck led a lot of efforts here on U.S. soil and became notorious in America for just being a very public figure during the times in propaganda. The U.S. government hired Walt Disney to help with the propaganda as a cartoonist to produce primary films, training videos for the Navy, but as they saw that was very successful, they started using Disney to produce other forms of propaganda and other training videos. So successful, in fact, that all of the branches of the military hired Disney to do the same thing, as well as some other branches of the government, including the Treasury Department and a few others. So why was Donald Duck this big character instead of Mickey Mouse? Donald Duck, for a lot of people, was a lot more relatable. Donald Duck was very easily frustrated, like a lot of Americans were at the time, and he wasn't willing to just, for the example of income tax, he wasn't willing to just give his money away. He had to be convinced to do it like many Americans did. And for several other things as well. However, Donald Duck was very patriotic, and a lot of Americans could relate with this. They were very patriotic about their country at the time, and even to this day still are. Because of this, Donald Duck was used in a lot of propaganda, hundreds of videos, posters, things like that. One specific video was The New Spirit. This was a film that was paid for by the U.S. Treasury Department, wanting to encourage citizens to pay their income taxes. This video begins with the narrator talking to Donald Duck, saying, "Hey, you should pay your income taxes. Well, you should help with the war." First off, and Donald Duck's excited. He's like, "I will go fight all of the Japanese." But instead, he says, "Pay your income taxes." And Donald Duck is confused. He doesn't really want to, send his money away to the government. But as the narrator explains that they use this to, buy boats and guns and ammo, Donald Duck is convinced. And in fact, so convinced, he doesn't just mail his money, but he runs all the way to Washington, D.C. from California to hand-deliver his money. And this was an incredibly effective form of propaganda. In 1942, 7 million people paid their income taxes. But in 1943, after the release of the video, 36 million people paid their income taxes. And a whopping 37% of these people said they were influenced by this video. And then another propaganda video that we saw was the Führer's face, and we actually saw this one in class. This video, as you probably remember, Donald Duck is in Nazi Germany, and he is working for the government. And he is working in an ammunition factory, and we can see before that he's very tight with what food he has and other kind of supplies that are commonplace. And he's working very long hours of the shift, obviously very tired, very pushed past his limit, and constantly threatened with death if he doesn't do the right thing. And this was just a couple of the videos that Disney produced propaganda-wise. They produced thousands of feet of film. They actually produced over 400,000 feet of film during World War II. And in 1943, they produced 204,000 feet of this film. And before this, Walt Disney was producing 27,000 feet of film each year. So almost 10 times as much film as needed by the government. And this actually had a really good long-term impact on the company, as they got a lot more efficient with producing their film. And it allowed Disney to produce more film each year, produce more videos that people have come to love today, and it really helped Disney to become the entertainment titan that it is today. That's it.
All right. Thank you, Gage. Questions for Gage? So you mentioned Donald Duck was a particular focus of this. Can you speculate on how you think the effectiveness would have differed if, let's say, Mickey Mouse or a different character, or Goofy or somebody, was used as the focus instead of Donald?
Yeah, sure. I actually read a scientific article on this, and they were comparing Donald Duck to Mickey Mouse. And Mickey Mouse was described as too perfect of a character. Mickey Mouse, based on Mickey Mouse's personality, he would have been a lot more willing to donate his income taxes, for example, or things like that, just because it's the right thing to do. But like a lot of Americans, Donald Duck needed to be convinced. He needed to see the outcome of what his contribution would be doing. And Goofy, it's a lot less intelligent than most Americans like to think they are, so we wouldn't have been so, I guess, pleased with him as a character representing us. So Donald Duck was really just a good choice for that.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Thank you very much, Gage.